because there are many. They should probably compile these into some sort of highlight clip, actually, from the first game and the second game. Just put them together and put them up somewhere, because these are points to endure. 3-0 at this point, and as Malini said, the great work by the Juggernaut early on was the fact that they killed off Eternal Envy twice in the early part and just stopped him from laning.
But in this play, you could see the downsides of the Storm Spirit, and you'll probably see it again in another highlight, where the committal from the Storm Spirit now in pre-30 minutes is so high, especially if you're going Orchid first to try and counter out that Ember Spirit. You don't have a really big mana pool to work with. It's tough. Every single jump in is basically full commitment by you.
But at the same time, he did bait out so many RPs coming out from Misery, whether you say that's Misery missing his RPs or Sumail outplaying him. Regardless, the RPs were still used and whiffed a lot of the time. So not only did it put pressure on the Ember Spirit, the Orc is also really good at catching out a Wind Ranger, although he was really quick on his wind runs before, and Misery had a pretty difficult game, again, because of Storm Spirit.
In general, Jacob, throughout the game, EG seemed to be ahead for most of the time. The Secret, they just had some crazy good fights.
I mean, this Rose fight by Secret is what keeps them in the game at first, and then later on we see the push from EG pushing high ground. I think that's one of the... I was talking to Austin about this, how this seems to be one of EG's real...
It's a sticking point.
Yeah, they don't seem to really execute as well as a lot of other teams do. We saw Arteezy and Sumail both running into an RP, and they must have expected that combo. I think everyone in this crowd expected that to happen. And when
they didn't know the Rapier, though. I don't think they saw the Rapier at that point, so they thought they could take it.
But that wasn't even the issue. The RP follow-up by the Static Storm alone was a lot of damage, and with the Wind Ranger, with the Aghanim Scepter, there's so much damage output while they're in the RP.
Well, one guy has Aegis, one guy has BKB. I think it was fine. They just underestimated it yet again. I think they went in with aggressive intentions.
Great hits.
Right, so they had the Rapier. I think he was pushing out some side lanes, and yeah, they have BKB on Jug and Aegis on Storm Spirit, and they feel very comfortable pushing in, but he kills them in the duration of an RP stun.
What do you think about the Rapier purchase instead of the Daedalus?
I mean, it would have looked brilliant if they had one.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't think it's worthwhile. Like, the crits is still such a big part of it, right? Would he even have soloed a Winter Wyvern with a hit? I don't.
Well, it certainly wouldn't have been GG right here had he not gone for the Daedalus. But at the same time, would he have actually killed? Would they have survived that top push before had he not had the Rapier? It's difficult to call.
I think Eternal Envy was looking at this game going that they had fallen behind significantly at a certain point where he did pick up the Divine Rapier, and the Evil Geniuses lineup was meant to be able to stop the Ember Spirit really well. Again, the playstyle of Team Secret, we saw it in Game 1, we saw it again in Game 2. They're going to try and push out with that Eternal Envy Ember Spirit and allow the other four to push around on the other side of the map, where they usually win two different objectives at the same time. But if they can routinely catch that Ember Spirit, EE is never feeling comfortable enough to solo push out a top lane like that, just because he's so easily countered by one hero.
And it does switch the pressure back, of course, onto Puppey, and